turns out, men, Stockholm Syndrome doesn't work. So I seek to my friend for advice because I was busy crying, saying, I shouldn't have left the front door open, I shouldn't have left the front door open. But he took me in his arms, and he said, don't worry, Ben. Life is the hardest game you've ever had to play. So I shouted, Jumanji! Sadly, my life stayed the same, which left me with him to question his theory. I said, if life is the hardest game you'll ever have to play, would that explain why the candlestick in your dining room was covered in blood? He said, don't ask me such a silly question. I said, if life was the hardest game you'll ever have to play, would that explain why you were chasing that multicoloured mouse with a I don't know, a bowling ball in a bathtub? He said, pest control is very expensive these days. I said, if life is a game, would that explain why you keep getting second prize in the beauty contest? He said, enough of the insult, just leave, you can solve your problems on your own. He was a great friend, you know. So I did solve my problems on my own. I started watching a lot of old-fashioned films to cure my heartbreak. I watched many old-fashioned films in the space of a weekend, and it left me with two things happened to me. One, everything suddenly became the colour lilac, and two, I started to question the reality of the film. Pointless, I know, but I'll give you some examples. James Bond had a licence to kill. Did that mean he got a provisional licence to kill? When E.T. phoned home, like, how much did that cost? Because a phone call to France is like £4. Galaxy? I don't know, £8 probably. But what I really want to talk to you about is Oompa Loompas. They're not funny. Oompa Loompas are a different ethnic race. And they work for an industry. So hypothetically, they should have a trade union. Stay with me, stay with me. Picture this, Oompa Loompas from the old and the new film, all dressed around in little suits at a board table, that big, ready to discuss the problems of working in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. They'll be looking at each other going, ready for the meeting? Oompa Loompa doopa-dee-doo. There are lots of health and safety issues. Oompa Loompa doopa-da-dee. There are a lack of female employees. We don't 20-minute breaks. Cocoa beans is not a paid rate. We'll no longer sing for free. If not, then join Cadbury. I know that's on Nestle. I can see a lot of the crowd was very young tonight, so can I ask you a personal question in saying, are there any Harry Potter fans in the place tonight? It was a silly question, really. I don't know if you're like me, but I treated Harry Potter like I treated Father Christmas. I believed in it. I believed in it so much that I was convinced I was going to go to Hogwarts. Plus, I was always told that was special. I suppose I still am. But looking back, I'm quite glad I didn't go to Hogwarts, because for a school, it's pretty dangerous. This is a school where you have to carry a weapon. Which leads me to question, does Hogwarts actually have an Ofsted? It's a school, it must have some form of inspection. Can you imagine an Ofsted inspection going down at Hogwarts? I imagine it'd be something like this. Dumbledore, 4 kids have died in the last week. Stop moving the stairs. Which, by the way, led me to a 3rd floor corridor with a 3-headed gigantic Rottweiler. I didn't know which head to put it down with. On the way in, I was attacked by a tree, and apparently you hired a teacher who had Lord Voldemort on the back of his head. Oh, and one more thing, Dumbledore. What are you doing about wheelchair access? No, because I haven't seen a single ramp or lift. Disabled kids can be magical too, You're wrong for laughing at them. If I was at Hogwarts, though, you'd probably be the same as me. With being exposed to that much potion ingredients, you'd probably just get high. Druggies, yeah! Rock on. I'd be there in the Forbidden Forest going, oi, Matt, pass the gillyweed. Pass the Gillyweed. Yeah, that was a very clever Harry Potter joke, yes. Oh, I'm getting a bit of the old munchies now. Getting a bit of the old munchies now. I fancy a Bertie Bott's every flavour bean. Thank you very much. Oh my god! I've got herpes. Again. The funniest thing about Harry Potter, though, for me, is Hagrid. Because Hagrid, as most of you will know, is half man and half giant. But we find out in Book 4, Chapter 18, it's all reference. This is my gig. If I wanted advice, I'd come to you first, alright? I forgot where I am, to be honest with you. Brilliant. Half man, half giant. Thank you, sir. You've been paying attention. 10 points to Gryffindor. Right. So we find out in Book 4, Chapter 18, as I've already made reference, that we find out his dad is human. What does this say to you? Some find it a turn off, I don't, personally. Because I think he's been having a go at beef like fucking bumming, that's what I think. Personally, I think it's fitting to both start and end my set with a massive vagina joke. So, I've been Ben Wilkins, you've just been the best, so thank you very much for that.